So I'm Rob.
I'm Akash.
And today we played on a lovely song called Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what have you played?
I played sitar.
Yeah.
Akash played this. I started out wanting to be a session musician, and I didn't really want to be in a famous band, didn't want to be sort of, a band member. I think it was my second or third lesson, I learned about what a session guitar player was. So that's what I wanted to do. And the reason I wanted to do that is so that I could turn up and play different music and be put in different musical situations and help that music help it in a way that doesn't really show attention to what I'm doing. It makes the song better. I then actually happened through my journey. I toured with quite a lot of artists in very, very different genres, from synth pop. I worked with an artist called Gary Newman, who's like a pioneer of synth pop music. And then, various artists later. I ended up joining the band Jamiroquai back in 1999, and that's a funk band that takes lots of influence, a bit of jazz, sort of disco, quite a bit of rock music. But all the while still carry on doing sessions, and being put in different musical groupings.
I was Western trained from the age of 5 or 6, but I didn't really take it anywhere. And then when I was 18, I started playing sitar started learning from Rupa Panesar. And so she's kind of been my guru and Ustad Dharmir Singh since the start.
And what drew you to sitar and Rupa?
She just asked me, do you want to start learning? And I said yes. And then I think we got along so well as people that it was nice to kind of have a friendship with her as well. So we got along well as people, and she is a fantastic teacher, and so is Guruji. They're both amazing people and amazing teachers. So that's also another reason to keep playing, regardless of how good I am or, whatever I do. It's all because of them. It's all their teaching. So I probably wouldn't actually carry on playing if it wasn't for them. So they've kind of been really everything. In the beginning, it was very easy because I've got a very strange family for it from an Asian perspective, because my dad told me not to go to university. He told me, instead of going to university, play sitar like you would as if you're going to classes. So I played like 8-9 hours every day for 3-4 years. And then there are times when I've thought to myself, oh no, this is too much. There's people my age who are playing a million times better than I could do. But then I just realised that it doesn't really matter because I'm not in competition with anyone. It's like, it doesn't make a difference. Because, I'm just kind of devaluing myself if I did that. So I just thought, I'll play for myself, and if my gurus are happy, then that's all I really want. I mean, being a concert musician, being a session musician is great, but for me, it's just as long as my gurus are happy with my playing, then that's all I really want.
It was beautiful. It was really, really lovely tune. I sort of charted it out this morning before I left for the studio, and realised it was in 7/8, and it's not a time signature I'm used to playing it at all. I have done it, but it's we had a brief discussion upstairs about how do we count it.
Yeah.
And I explained that I can't. If I'm counting, I just can't play. Because I'm so used to playing it 4/4. I just have to feel it and sort of get into a mind loop to sort of hear where the changes roll, how the chord changes roll.
So it's kind of like, it's nice to know that from a Western classical point of view or Western music point of view, because we look at everything from a melodical and a rhythmic point of view rather than, I guess, from a harmony point of view. So it's quite nice to kind of see how harmonies work with a melody, Because for us, it's just rhythm and melody, nothing else.
Okay. So you're not sort of... Because I noticed when we were sort of playing back, it was very important for you to hear the vocal really clear for you to play off.
Yeah.
Whereas I kind of needed the vocal, but I was kind of following the chordal changes. Okay.
Because I can't play chords on here, so
Right.
it's just pure melody.
Right, you're just sort of floating along with the melody.
Copying
Right.
the voice.
Right.
Yeah.
It was
basically.
hearing you talking to the singer. You were talking in phrases, and I was kind of recognising the notes she was singing the phrases that she'd been singing on the track, and you were sort of referencing notes. So for me, the song's in C sharp, and she was kind of referencing that note, which is the sort of flattened fifth to me. What was that called?
So we wouldn't look at it as a flat and fifth. We look at a flat, sharpened fourth. Sorry.
Okay, right.
So it would be like for us, that would be ma.
What's it called?
So ma. So you know how you get do re mi fa sol.
Okay.
So we have something similar, but it's called sargam. So you have sa re ga ma, fa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa.
Okay.
If that was a sharpened fourth.
Right, sharpened fourth.
I guess the style of sitar I play is so my guru's guru, Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahib, he actually created this style of playing. So he rebuilt the sitar and everything to what it looks like now. So it could match the human voice. So I don't know if I could even try it, but sa da.
Right.
So kind of we tried to copy the human voice as much as we can.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar. I play a little bit of slide guitar sometimes, and one of my favourite slide guitar players is a chap called Derek Trucks, and he plays slide in a blues way, but he also took a lot of influence from Indian music. So he can shift between slightly playing a slide, so he gets that very vocal quality to his slide playing, and obviously because there's no fretting involved, it sounds kind
It's
of
kind of
similar
similar because we're pulling without the frets, I guess.
Yeah.
But we have very big similarities. Like in a lot of guitar players would kind of go like, da da da.
Yeah.
But if you were to play it in a pure vocalized way, you go
Right.
with
Okay.
hopefully being a bit more in tune than that was.
So you're keeping your finger on the same fret, but just bending the note to shape the melody. Just the way the melodies work, the way it's so complex, but it doesn't. I'm not hearing. I always like to hear music in a non-technical way. So I like to hear when something might be technical, but it performed so well that the technique is gone. So that's what I noticed today. I could hear you, the vocal and your playing sort of melding together. You know, in my world, my world is all about the groove. I always want to feel what the groove is and play and fit. And you know, we talk about pocket. So you have a pocket in that you're sitting with the drums and the bass and the piano, and it was quite a challenge for me today playing in that time signature to still try and maintain some kind of pocket and kind of stay out of your way, but still be there, just to allow the sitar and the vocals to work. It was just great. Really thoroughly enjoyed it.
I think anything to do with fusion. I mean, in some ways you could call me a purist, but if anything's done with integrity, then it'll be good no matter what. Because the moment you start adding all the synths and everything like that, that's when you kind of lose it. But because it is technically still pure in different ways, you know, it is very refreshing as well.
There's an element of I always get it where you're disconnected from the technicalities of what you're playing, and the music just carries you along, and you know, you sort of, I always think of it as your eyes kind of rolling back in your head at moments where you sort of, there's some divine thing happening. And I did have a chart, I was reading a chart today, but you know, on a couple of occasions I could feel myself just getting lost in what was happening and being connected to to what I was playing to, and you know, obviously us playing together in the same. It's the first time I've ever played with a sitar player, so it was just interesting to hear how it was working together. You know, having to sort of concentrate on what you were doing, but also still trying playing time.
It's quite nice, interesting, but it's also quite a nice kind of challenge as well.
Yeah, yeah.